Ay. Vamos a ver. Yo no lo puedo hacer. Yo todo que todo no puedo todavía mucho. No puedo todavía a este sitio. No sé. Va a ser mejor que vaya otra vez al hospital. Si avanza un poco más la historia, tengo que conseguir más nivel a la base de matar humanos ahora. Consigo mucha experiencia ahora mismo. Si no, no tengo nada que hacer. Sobre todo este está muy fuerte, necesito más salud. Más fuerza de mis ataques vampirescos. No sé si el concepto de vampirescos es correcto, pero... mejor... ¿Y esta misión? Joder, no me deja poner. A ver, vale. Busca todo pecho es una planta. Vale, es doble misión, ¿eh? Vale, tengo que analizar la sangre en el hospital. Ya es tarde, voy a analizar ahí. Bueno, vaya, ese más grande. Tío, me ha cabreado mucho la muerte de este tipo. Y este no lo tiene, es que vale. Pero entonces iba a morir de todas formas. O no sé. Vale, pues voy a hacer esta. Vente, aún son muy flojos, tío. Por aquí no. A ver. Muy bien. Y por aquí. Por aquí arriba.
Die, vermin!
Amigos en mí. Que en verdad el tema más importante es absorber la vida de los otros tíos. No sé si este es de la muerte de arte. ¿Y cómo saben que soy yo? Sangre. Vale, y por aquí hay sangre. Me hace gracia que ya llegar al hospital por decir una zona segura. Y me ha dado que en modo... estoy en modo normal, en modo difícil tiene que ser la hostia. Vamos a ver... Y necesito hacer medicinas también. Para salvar y para hablar a ver con otros tíos. Porque si no puedo hablar con los de adelante. Vale, vamos a subir a la segunda planta. El Swan. Ese es nuestro compadre, ¿no? Sí.
I cannot enter.
Supuestamente coño, no me acuerdo ahora. Era subir a la segunda planta a la izquierda. Será al fondo, pero vamos a intentar subir a ver si hay algo por aquí. No, por aquí no, entonces tiene que ser por aquí. Es que estoy aquí, la puta cadáver, me está saliendo. ¿Está por aquí? No, tiene que ser por aquí, ¿no? La misión es secundaria, ¿no? Una sierra usada. Coleccionable. Ah, es un objeto de misión. Oh, mira, pues ya tengo algunas cosas más para sacarle. Vale. Tengo que hacer muchas misiones porque al fin y al cabo para poder, no sé, explorar bien o algo.
It's locked.
Necesito...
This must be the place. It's definitely away from prying eyes. Relegated to the shadows. A kingdom of my own. At least I won't be sleeping in a coffin.
Ah, qué gracioso, ¿no?
The flower's dying. It needs water.
¿Dónde está el agua? Vale, esto no es la misión principal. Supuestamente, a ver. Ahora estamos otra vez. Yo no sé. Fabricación y tratamiento. Me falta química. No puedo fabricar esto. Pero aquí me falta. Ahora me falta todo esto. Tengo que hacer lo del agotamiento. Me da miedo hacer algo aquí. Es que no sé, a ver. Ya tengo tácticas. Vamos a ver. Muelle. Ejecuta un movimiento sobrenatural sobre el objetivo infligiendo el daño. Ah, 1500. Ofensivas. Necesito una cosa de esa. Ahora puedo llevar 3 euros. Necesito eso también, tío. Algo sí, veo que necesitamos una cosa de esa. Pero... yo creo que voy a aumentar, no sé. Esto es interesante, yo creo que voy a mejorar más la salud, ¿no?
If I'm to stay here until my research is complete, I'd better learn to hide my true nature from the mortals. But what about my thirst for blood?
Atiende la puerta. Pero las misiones están... Vale, sí, os puedo seguir rastreando. Eso es importante saberlo. Ya, superado. Bueno, eso es subjetivo. Debo seguir conociendo gente aquí. Pero este me voy a cargar, todo claro. Pero me imagino que para aumentar el nivel de cautivar, no sé si será una habilidad propia, o será una habilidad... ¿Quién inspira? Tenemos el secreto más hacer. Bueno, voy a atender la puerta, me digo que no me estoy rápido. La enfermera.
Yes, Nurse Crane? How can I help you?
I'm so sorry. I know Dr. Swansea wanted you to rest, but we have somewhat of a crisis.
A crisis?
Our supply of antiseptics is nearly depleted. I was hoping there was another box up here, but...
What type of hospital are you running? No antiseptics?
You have been away too long, Doctor. With the war and now this epidemic, supplies have been running scarce for months now.
I may have a solution. In France, during the war, drugs shortage was a daily problem, and we had to use our wits to overcome the shortages.
However do you mean?
If combined correctly, certain household chemical products can be used in a pinch instead. Now, where's the hospital storeroom?
The storeroom? Fat chance. This is the Pembroke, and space is luxury we don't have. Everything used to be stored in the old morgue.
Perhaps I should look there first. Where is this morgue?
It's the large building behind the hospital. You'll need to go in the back door because it's been sealed off for sanitary reasons. Take this key. It opens a small back entrance at the end of a narrow street.
The abandoned morgue behind the hospital. A small door at the end of a narrow street. On my way then. Thank you, nurse.
Vamos a investigar.
It's locked.
Dígame, lo hablaré con el otro. Vale, son así. Vale. Pero es curioso que este doctor sepa la existencia de los vampiros. Aunque sea esa hermandad que diga. Y que un cura no sepa en sí la existencia de los vampiros. Es curioso. ¿Y no en cuenta? A ver, me sale como si tengo que ir para arriba. Pero arriba no es. Vamos a ver este.
Good evening, Mr. Elwood.
Evening, Dr. Reed.
How close are you to Miss Horcroft? Are you aware that she thinks she is a vampire?
To wait for her next nibble is the best reason to stay here. Every time she approaches my bed, she treats me like something tasty. A normal person.
Aren't you afraid? She may hurt you if the game goes too far.
She's quite harmless, I can assure you. Her head's broken inside is all. While I'm busted on the outside. But she's still beautiful. Living proof that there's hope for me.
So do you let her bite you? You know that's not sanitary.
And why not? She's only supping a few drops of me blood. And the pain, it's real for once.
She could decide to bite less willing patients.
Then it's another good reason for me to stay here, Doctor.
Interesante.
You do realize she's mentally
No
disturbed.
sé, como necesito
It's
mejorar
called
mi
the
habilidad.
Cotton syndrome.
No sé si estoy esperando por... No sé si esperar o ayudarme a este tío.
refers to my scars. And frankly, if I could, I'd join her world. It seems much more fun than the real one.
Ta, ta, ta. Un momentito. No sé, tío, qué hacer. Bueno, voy a intentar hacer una pista más bloqueada para conseguir 1000 puntos. Y luego voy al tío. No sé, pienso eso. Creo que es mejor esperar. Porque la otra también creo que la puedo coger. Ah, la otra también. La otra la da un vampiro, nunca se sabe, ¿no? Es que la tía me da cojona, ¿eh? Tú le ves la cara y acojona bastante, la muy tía, ¿eh? Hay que tener cuidado con esa tía. No sé. Ahí está. Ta. Bueno, pues...
Why do you feel responsible for the injury, Thomas? What really happened?
I wasn't disfigured by any German shells. It happened during my leave. It was an accident.
Why lie about it?
Come on. It's one thing to come back disfigured by the Germans, and it's another to get injured in an accident that could have happened to anybody.
No sé, a ver, no puede esconderse para siempre. Vamos a poner la cabeza, no esto no.
Everything, Mr. Elwood.
Says Mr. Pretty Face.
Vale.
Why lie about it?
Come on. It's one thing to come back disfigured by the Germans, and it's another to get injured in an accident that could have happened to anybody.
Beauty is not everything, Mr. Elwood.
Says Mr. Pretty Face.
Tell me what really happened then.
I went with a whore in Rouen. Dead drunk I was. The hotel was a shithole. There was a fire that night.
Did you start the fire? Were you trying to avoid going back to the front? That's not uncommon, you know.
No. It's just that I was asleep when the flames reached the room. The girl was long gone. Bitch never woke me up. Left me to burn.
Interesante. ¿Sabes lo que te digo? Me voy a comer. Ya, porque me ha puteado con la última. Que cago en leche. Le voy a haber hecho bien y le he cagado. Bueno, que me va a caer por culo todo.
So this is how it ends. Farewell, my life, you betrayed me, good.
Así, la den por culo al distrito ya.
Good evening, Miss Hapgood. How are you?
Rich, vibrant blood.
Tell me, Thelma, why do you feel so attached to Mr. Elwood? Why him?
I'm not sure, Doctor. I think we have a bond of some sort. We've both
Pues ya no.
suffered so much.
Ya me lo he
He's the
cepillado.
only mortal I find interesting.
Do you plan to make him a vampire too?
Of course not. How could I inflict my curse on anybody else? I'm not that cruel, Doctor.
Would you say you and Mr. Elwood are romantically involved?
No. No, Thomas is a delicate soul. Even though he disguises it. But I am not the woman he needs. No, for I am a vampire, Doctor.
I'll leave you, Mistress of the Dark, to your nocturnal activities.
Esa es la sensación. Esa es una cara de por aquí. Oye. Puede ser que tenga ese más adelante, ¿no? Aún puede ser que esté en un tejado o algo. No sé si suben por aquí arriba o algo. Me estoy liando. Tiene que ser por aquí. Ahora me estoy liando aquí arriba. Vamos a comprobarlo. Aquí está bastante grave esto. Ahí me está cagando. ¿Dónde estoy yo? Estoy por aquí. Vale, antes subí por aquí. No estamos subiendo, no subí. A ver si por aquí. Ahí está. voy a la rata porque tiene hambre. Tienes sensación de que hay aquí alguien por aquí arriba que la está espiando. Pero la clave es poder subir arriba, me imagino. Eso no sé si son ratas. No sé si se podrá por aquí o algo. Vamos a ver si por aquí hay algo para subir. Mira. Vale, falta una pista que no sé si me hubiese dado a este tío o no. Es que digo yo, o sea, ya sé yo que tenía que haber alguna manera de subir aquí arriba, ¿no? Pero es curioso cómo esos tíos no han querido, por decir, por excelencia, entrado ahí al hospital. Y ya en el hospital no puedo demostrar mis armas. En plan, no sé qué ver, tengo que... me voy a comer. Yo también estaba ya, por decir... Estaba la tía esta... Esa tía no la conozco... Vamos a hablar con esta.
Good evening, Miss Howcroft. How are you tonight?
I need blood, Doctor. Warm, rich, vibrant blood.
Tell me, Thelma, what do you really know about vampires?
I saw one and he saw me. I watched him hunt and kill. I saw his terrible wounds heal as his victim died. And then I knew I was saved.
You mean you actually saw a vampire? Here in London?
Yes. And it has been the answer to my pain. I must drink and kill to regenerate my decaying body. I am a vampire too.
You have no idea what problems your claim could cause if heard by the wrong people, Miss Howcroft. You must stop this nonsense now.
Why fear the truth? Strange things live in the dark, Dr. Reed. Strange and ancient beings that were here before this island even had a name.
Pues no lo voy a mejorar, coño. Pero me sale como preguntas personales.
I'll leave you, Mistress of the Dark, to your nocturnal activities.
Este no es un vampiro. Pasa que en sí ya conocí un vampiro. Vamos a ver. Este tengo todo. Esto me da mil. Voy a por este. Es que es un trofeo que en sí, que si eres... Encuentra el puesto de mando local. Vale, tengo que ir de forma más adelante. Y para acá atrás también. Vamos a ver. Aparte tengo que ir un momento a la morgue, vale. Hostia. Esto ya está bastante... Este lo tengo que mejorar, Tengo que encontrar agotamiento. Los medicamentos se los tengo que encontrar. Esto otra vez. De puta madre. Vamos a hablar con este. Hay un trofeo de conseguir todos que estén a salvo en el gente como este. Hay un problema, evidentemente. Cuesta. Ya he visto que hay una misión que cuesta. Y creo que mejor me dedico a mejorar mi nivel, porque al fin y al cabo lo que dicen, que aquí, para mejorar tu nivel, es a base de esto. Incluso y dormir. Pero evidentemente en el otro juego ponen una perspectiva más bonita, más nueva, más buena, menos asesino. Pues no debes hacer estas cosas. Me voy a matar a todos. Mataré a la mayoría. Que sí. Que se ve todo esto, ¿no? Yo creo que por aquí, era por aquí a la derecha. Más o menos, si no acuerdo mal. Sí. Es que activo esto porque de alguna manera para saber si me enfrento al enemigo o no. Tío, pero quiero encontrar más suministros médicos. Acá un puto también, a ver si puedo verlo aquí. Sí. Aquí está. Vamos a ver. No, inventario. No, vale, aquí no lo puedo ver por lo que veo. Me imagino que por cautivar 2 personas aumentaré mi nivel de cautividad. Fíjate, hay una misión en la cual tengo que liberar al primero sentenciar. Es que al final tengo que tirar todo sentenciar lo que me será el pivote. Pero como siempre soy tonto. Que supuestamente te dan nivel, a dormir te da nivel y a la vez otras cosas que tienes que hacer. No sé, es que solo hay una misión o lo que sea, no sé, me parece poco. Realmente es muy poco nivel. Tienes que explorar mucho, pero el problema es que te encuentras seres que te van a ayudar, literalmente. Que no me ha pasado cuando iba a la farmacia. Me tenía como un modo fácil para pasarme esa parte. Sí, conseguir platino. La dificultad supuestamente de esto es de la mitad. Puedo salir por aquí si quisiera. Vale. Una fin.
It's locked, all right.
Por aquí hay algo importante. Y está claro que hay algo aquí porque se está escuchando los sonidos por aquí. Las cosas como son. Bueno, hay nada. O sea, basta. Subo por arriba. Un escal. Yo me quiero agachar o algo, y no puedo.
Behavior is similar to the infected William Bishop. Must be the same strain. This sickness moves faster than influenza. This key will surely grant me access to the basement. I cannot enter. Balls of Mars, fortifiers. As popular as they are ineffective. But they do contain iron tartrate, and that might prove itself useful.
Yo estoy por aquí, ¿eh? Uno de los míos.
These skulls feed from corpses and the husks of animals. They're not after blood. It's locked all right. Mr. Connor's injuries don't match the report. I'd better look into this. Skulls can be so ferocious. I'm not sure I can defeat them without becoming stronger. To drink blood is so tempting. Sodium hypochlorite. Dangerous to administer, but efficient in the proper dosage.
Hiperolífico de sodio. Y luego me falta obtener otra vez. Oh, ya tengo para crear otro más de automito. No estoy solo. arriba. Recuperaremos primero al chaval, ¿no? Al fin y al cabo es el que está más jodido.
Finally, you've returned, Doctor. Did you find anything of value?
Yes, nurse.
You've worked your first miracle, Doctor. Now, this patient here needs immediate treatment.
Duty calls. When the storm has passed, I'll show you how to mix the remedy yourself with the same basic ingredients.
Many thanks, Doctor. When you've finished, you ought to report to Dr. Swansea in his office. He's been looking for you. Seemed pressing.
Good evening, Mr. Goswick. How are you?
I'm okay.
Do you need any help?
I'm afraid I may, sir. I don't mean to be a burden.
You are not a burden, sir. Healing you is my responsibility.
And you have my gratitude for that.
How painful is your throat, Mr. Goswick?
So painful I'd rather not talk at all, Doctor.
I have to go now, sir. But don't hesitate to contact me if you need any help.
Doctor.
Please, Jonathan, come in. Fascinating, is it not? In the last decade, so many mysteries have been brought to light with our microscopes. The human body, biology's penultimate frontier. The more we explore its boundaries, the less we're able to trace a clear line between life and death. You, my friend, have a foot in both countries. The view must be vertiginous.
It's at least as vertiginous as chatting about vampires with you, I would say.
This must be all so new to you. This area of town, the hospital, a brand new life. How stimulating it must be.
I wish I could share your enthusiasm, Dr. Swansea. But my condition defies scientific categorization. Undead? Unalive? Immortality defies logic.
I cannot express my thrill at this serendipitous turn of events. The world's most eminent specialist in blood transfusions, a vampire. One might say a gift from heaven.
It may seem strange, but your words have brought me some comfort here.
Forgive me. I've been an admirer of your work for a long time, and now you are so much more than a brilliant physician. And please, call me Edgar.
I'm not some doe-eyed student, Edgar. I understand we both have something to gain from this relationship.
Very well. I have a task for you, Jonathan. Something that will require all your newfound skills.
Please, go on.
The Pembroke only survives through the generosity of our benefactors. Unfortunately, our main donor has found herself in a bit of a bind. Now, if you could help her out...
A spokesman or politician is what you need. That's not my calling. And until I come to understand what has happened to me, I require discretion.
Discretion is in order, Jonathan. Lady Ashbury has recently received rather indelicate correspondence that, if revealed, would jeopardize her position.
And you would like me to eradicate this threat?
Why, the stole, of course not. I would just like you to pay her a visit. Her ladyship is certainly near the tents outside, tending the sick. You can't miss her. Look for someone impossibly delicate.
Accept.
Vocabulario.
I'll see what kind of trouble
Ya
Lady Ashbury is in.
estudiando listening. Hace un montón de ejercicios.
Venga a selectividad y me pongo contigo a ver la faena.
Do you need something, Jonathan?
I have just a few questions.
Then ask away. I'm at your service, Doctor.
You mentioned something about a secret society. A brotherhood, if I recall. Could you elaborate?
Certainly. I've been a member of the Brotherhood of St. Paul's Stole for several years. We are pledged to monitor and report vampire activity in England as impartial scientific observers.
That explains your nightly wanderings about the docks and the questions you ask.
I feel it wasn't mere coincidence that led us to that part of town. There was something as yet unseen that set those chain of events in motion.
Yet you don't fear me. And still, you know the monster that lurks beneath the civilized surface.
The Brotherhood has studied your kind for centuries. We believe you are as supernatural as a lion is to a gazelle.
Since I'm the one working for you, what should I know about Pembroke Hospital?
Well, for many years, we have been the only medical facility in this part of town that people can rely on. We support the community here, as well as provide health care.
Where do we stand today?
But to be honest, we cope on a day-to-day basis. The first wave of the Spanish flu last summer took us by surprise. We lack many of the basic necessities needed.
What do you expect of me?
What we need is hope. You were a soldier. This is a war. This white coat's still a uniform. We fight to help the poor, the sick of the East End, the forgotten.
The man we pursued and slew in the canning factory, William Bishop, I believe, was he a vampire?
He was a Skald, technically speaking. The debate rages as to their classification. Some think them a subspecies of vampire, others something else.
How do Skalds come into existence?
The name means slave. The etymology may indicate that they are a lesser species of vampire. From what I know, vampires tend to despise them.
Just for clarity, what differences are there between myself and a Skald?
A Skald is easier to eliminate, Jonathan, even if they remain formidable foes for the unprepared. Vampires... Now, vampires exist beyond the mortal realm.
Since you seem quite the expert on vampires, what could you tell me about my condition and how it came about?
As men of science, our first step is always to start with what we know. Forget the myths, the hackneyed scrawlings, and the penny dreadfuls. They do not scratch the surface of the truth you now find yourself in.
The sun. The morning following my transformation. Its rays burned me. There was pain, smoke, and my skin blackened.
You will find there is very little that can kill a vampire, my friend. You have been offered relative immortality. The sun will most certainly hurt you, leaving you weakened and damaged, but it will not destroy you.
Must I take a life to live?
You are a vampire. You feed, and blood is the sole sustenance that can sustain your immortal frame. And only a living creature contains the nourishment you require.
We'll see each other again soon, Edgar. It's locked, all right. Good evening, Milton.
Good evening, Doctor. Still trying to save lives?
Have you heard of any underhand dealings going on in this hospital?
There are a lot of secrets around here. I'm not surprised someone tried to make money from them.
What kind of secrets?
I'm not in the gossip business, Dr. Reed. If you want to know more, you better talk to Harriet Jones. She's the eldest patient here.
What's going on between you and Nurse Hawkins?
Pippa's tired. Tired of all this shit. Tired of all those corpses piling up. She's as depressed as I am.
During the war, I witnessed a few couples just like you come together in difficult circumstances. It can be very damaging.
Maybe you're right. But we support each other. And that's all that matters.
You do realize you could both get fired. Hospital staff are not meant to have intimate relationships with one another.
Come on, Dr. Reed. Do you know how many rules are broken in this hospital every day just to keep it running? There's nothing wrong with what we're doing.
Tell me why you're extorting money from some of the patients here.
If a patient wants a bed, he'll have to pay me a little fee. That's all.
Where did you get the idea for such an immoral scam?
Funny you should ask. The first time it was from a patient who bribed me to get a bed. It's only then I realized I could make a fortune.
Admit it. Nurse Hawkins is more than your lover. She's also your partner in crime.
Of course she is. How else could I tell which bed is free? I need to know that.
Have you no shame?
Don't you see the city is crumbling down? Today people are ready to pay to get a hospital bed. Tomorrow we may be fighting for food.
Goodbye, Milton.
The flu took my dear wife, Emily. I take comfort knowing we'll soon be together again.
Mr. Rainfield, that's no way to talk. You're in good hands here, and we'll be up again soon enough. Now do me a kindness and get some sleep. I'll be back round later.
Your words are kind, the blessings of an angel. You're the sweet, sweet Lady of Mercy.
Good evening, Dr. Reed. It's a pleasure to see you again. You seem surprised. Dr. Swansea has brought me up to speed concerning your recent appointment to Pembroke Hospital.
You're a vamp... The lady who saved me that night, before vanishing into thin air. I remember you from the pub with Dr. Swansea.
Indeed. Allow me to introduce myself formally this time. My name is Lady Ashbury. I remember you well, in spite of the brevity of our encounter.
Apologies. You've taken me by surprise. I'm very happy to see you.
The pleasure is mine, Doctor.
I hope you're more disposed to answer my questions now.
You must have countless questions, but our rather urgent matter first. Swansea has explained. My cover, if you prefer, has been compromised.
Pardon my boldness, Your Ladyship, but I have questions concerning this condition we share.
As a newborn, your hunger for answers is rivaled only by your thirst for blood. But the questions need wait.
I'm a scientist. My trade is in the deciphering of mysteries, and I need information to feed my mind.
I will gladly answer every question you have, but first, prove yourself capable of resolving my predicament without eating the culprit.
Dr. Swansea has commissioned me to be your agent in this matter. You could start by explaining what's amiss.
These past insufferable weeks, I've been the victim of extortion. I've made a first payment, but the blackmailer grows greedy. I must refuse his most recent demands.
What are your expectations? Please be precise.
As the newly appointed surgeon of this hospital, you are in an excellent position to ask innocent questions and deftly learn the identity of my blackmailer.
Who would be so foolish as to threaten you? A kindred spirit.
Even if it were the case, and I highly doubt it, a vampire would have asked for something more valuable than money. My suspicions lean toward a patient or their family.
If we're dealing with an ordinary criminal, surely you've the means to deal with it yourself, if I may.
As immortal tradition doth dictate, all fangs and hypnotic eyes ablaze, the blood would run like a river. That's what I hope to avoid. Violence has a tendency to spiral out of control.
Please continue. Every detail is essential. I'm your man.
My embarrassment in this matter is eclipsed only by my shame at having put the hospital at risk. The threat from our anonymous scoundrel is clear. A list of dates. My visits coinciding with the dates of suspicious patient deaths due to massive blood loss.
I'll take care of it. Do you know where I should start?
If that was the case, I'd settle the matter myself. You could talk to our local gossip, Harriet Jones. Not a pin drops here without her hearing about it.
I'll meet that woman now.
My life, as others know, is in your hands, Dr. Reed. I'm sure of your discretion, but I do fear your powers of persuasion will be put to the test. When this is resolved, I'll be your obligé. I'll answer all questions in regards of your condition.
Good evening, Mr. Cox.
Dr. Reed. Still working at night, I see. I like that.
And why is that?
People who don't sleep at night always seem more alive to me. More interesting, one way or another.
Do you ever think about that poor fellow I saw you push in the water?
The wound he gave me will make sure I don't forget him. It still fucking hurts. Boss had cut me good.
What did he want? Revenge?
I recently had to kill his brother. Poor arsehole thought it would be easy to return the favor.
Only the strongest survive. Survival at all costs. Is that all you think about?
I'm the toughest bastard you'll ever meet, Dr. Reed. And I don't give a fuck what you think of me.
That man was determined to murder you. You almost died.
What a surprise. The first time I met him, he nearly shit himself. Fucking coward. Oh, I guess revenge gives you balls.
How's your hospitalization going, Mr. Cox?
This is a shitty place with shitty staff. As long as I'm treated all right, I'll be fine.
What's wrong with the Pembroke staff?
That bastard you sent to bring me here, Milton. I thought he was going to break all my bones before I reached my bed.
I see. Any other smart comments?
The nurses aren't too ugly. Especially that foxy one, Nurse Crane. Pretty brunette, tough attitude, all like that.
What's wrong with the hospital?
Come on, Dr. Reed. The place is a dump. Smelly, sad, and dirty.
But you're alive thanks to the efforts and dedication of the staff here, aren't you?
What are you expecting, a medal? I thought that saving lives was just part of the job. Must be an unsatisfactory profession at this time, I'm sure.
How long do you think you can escape the law, Clay?
I know this city like the back of my hand, Doc. I know its streets, who to pay, who to avoid, and who to bully. I won't get caught.
We can't escape the consequences of our actions. The past catches up with us in the end.
I ain't afraid of death. I don't hide who I am. I live my life honestly, which is more than I can say for most folks.
And who are you, then?
I'm the leader of the Wet Boot Boys. One day, I'll leave this shitty place and punch in the face all who thought I would not come back.
Have you heard of any underhand dealings going on in the hospital?
Blackmail? That's not my style. Too risky. The black market, though. Now that's where the money is.
I'll leave you for now, Mr. Cox.
Hey, Doc.
You're lucky to be alive, Mr. Cox. I hope you're starting to take better care of yourself.
This place is full of sickness and decay. How could I get better in such a dump?
Consider yourself lucky that I'm treating all of my patients equally. But don't push your luck.
Don't play the innocent with me. I'm sure you have good reasons to act this way. And also weaknesses that can be exploited.
I'll leave you for now, Mr. Cox.
What? What is this? Who are you? Get out of my room.
There's no need for alarm, madam. I'm Dr. Reed, the new surgeon.
Preposterous. Dr. Reed, you say? I don't want some bumbling intern. Where's Dr. Swansea?
Please, calm down, madam. I assure you that I am highly qualified. I'm just back from war duty.
How brave. Threatening an old defenseless woman. You know how long I've been a patient here? You've picked the wrong fight. I'm Harriet Jones.
Harriet Jones? Indeed. I've been meaning to have a chat with you. You know what goes on here better than any other patient, I gather.
Oh, better than any patient, nurse or doctor. I've seen so many vile undertakings.
I heard there have been some despicable goings-on. Was there a case of blackmail?
Blackmail? Wait. You're investigating something. This isn't a social call. One of those incompetent cunts slit a poor sod's vein.
If I didn't know better, Miss Jones, I'd be inclined to say you enjoy this type of idle gossip.
God's honest truth, Doctor. It's just the way it is here. Most of these bitches would let you freeze to death before giving you a blanket.
You seem to know more about the goings-on here than anyone else. Beware, Miss Jones, in case suspicion should fall on you.
That's it. Blame the old and infirm. I see those little bitches' greedy little eyes. Just waiting for me to pop off they are.
I assure you, madam, this is not an investigation into a possible medical error.
Debauchery, then? Nurses Crane, Hawkins, Brannigans, whores, all of them. They can't keep their legs shut. I've seen them scratching slutty sores.
Really? Well, if you have irrefutable proof, I'll not have the staff behaving in such a manner here.
This is your business, Doctor, not mine. But I swear one of the nurses is cavorting with some man on hospital hours.
Thank you for your time, Miss Jones. You've given me something to go on. See you on the next round. The patients and staff might know something. I'll start my investigation with them.
I wish I could be sick again. Feel my blood boil with the fever.
Good evening, Nurse Hawkins.
Good evening, Dr. Reed.
Milton cheats patients out of their money at this hospital, Pippa. Are you his accomplice?
Yes, I am.
Is this your definition of being useful? By a...
No. It is...
Why do you...
Why not? Most of the sick...
How can you be affected by the misery around you, and be so heartless at the same time? Which is the real you, Nurse Hawkins?
I could ask you the same question, Dr. Reed. Are you more real when you lie to a dying patient, or when you grant him useless medication?
Whose idea was it?
What difference does it make? We did it together, and I'm guilty as charged.
Answer my question.
It was my idea first, even though Milton would say it was his, to protect me. Yes.
Is this...
No. Why?
How...
I could ask...
What can you tell me about the strange man visiting one of the nurses during her shift?
Let me guess. You spoke with that old shrew, Harriet Jones. Do not pay attention to her, Doctor. She's full of fanciful tales.
She could have been telling the truth.
That old witch will end up in hell soon enough.
No matter how you feel about her.
Who says I don't care for her? Hey. Let me...
Goodbye. Good evening, nurse.
Good evening, Doctor.
Do you know if
The people who work here,
have you seen a strange...
I've never heard of such...
How are...
No.
Do you... Goodbye now.
It's safer here than anywhere else in the East.
I'm alright.
Good evening, Mr.
I'm okay.
How
So painful, I'd rather not.
I'll let you... Good evening, Mr.
I'm okay.
Have you...
No.
Have so... I'll let you get...
Waste your time with me.
Good evening.
Have you...
Doctor, well, good.
Goodbye, Mrs.
Sir.
What's going on?
I'm Blight, sir.
I'm Dr. Jonathan Reed from...
Oswald and myself were both infantry, sir.
How long have you been...
I can't go there.
Don't be ashamed, Mr. Blight. Many soldiers who survived the trenches suffer from muscle. What can you tell me?
I'm Oswald's best friend.
What can you...
His name is Oswald.
This is a day...
We were looking for the Pembroke Hospital.
Where was...
He went down by the canal.
I have all...
Thank you, Doc.
You're sure you don't come back with me?
Nah, I have to see someone at the hospital.
Be careful. You look so bad they may keep you as a patient.
Fuck 'em. I don't like hospitals. Or doctors.
Well then, when you go back to Whitechapel, you may find this useful.
What is it?
A pass for a free medical exam by the best nurse available. Just read it.
I don't read well, but thank you, I guess.
This man has been savagely attacked and dragged to the floor.
right.
Are you injured, sir?
Help me get out of here.
I'm Dr. Reed.
Okay. Oh.
Mr. Thatcher, your friend Newton.
Yes.
Good. Now leave this place and... Are you... What sort of creature is this?
Un puto hombre lobo. Pensé en evolucionar, pero dije, mejor no, me quedo. Debo aumentar mi agotamiento, mi existencia propiamente dicha, no solo la salud. El aguante también tengo que mejorar.
I can't believe I'm doing this. This is despicable. What sort of creature is this?
Una lucha de que yo te cobre o no te cobre yo. le quito una mierda de vida, ¿eh? Le quito muy poca vida. Llevo menos nada en la absorción de sangre, tío. Ya, no sé, algo tengo que mejorar. A mí me parece una tontería que tengas que mejorar tus habilidades cuando te duermes.
I have this thirst for blood. I can't believe I'm doing this. What sort of creature is this?
Lo que tenía que ser, cuando tú subieras el... Es que estoy jodido, tío. Voy a ir para atrás para mejorar mi nivel. Es lo mejor. Si fuese en modo fácil, pues sí, se puede hacer perfectamente. Pues normal es difícil, tienes que mejorar mucho tu nivel. La dificultad no afecta a los trofeos, si no estás jodido. tiempos de carga, lo que me gusta del juego este son los tiempos de carga. Son muy lentos. Me sorprende que hay juegos más nuevos que más antiguos que van mejor. Y no sé. Este juego tiene supuestamente. Este juego salió creo en 2018. De 2017 a 2018 salió este juego hace. No mucho, hace 2 o 3 años salió este juego. No sé qué buena crítica de venta tuvo, pero yo creo que supuestamente tenía una buena crítica de venta. Yo espero que hagan una sola parte de cómo acaba esto. Yo entro por aquí. La ventaja es que puedo volver por aquí. Que me sube eso. Ah, espéralo. Vale. Entonces lo tengo que ir más adelante. Ya está. Yo debería mejorar mis habilidades, tío, porque si no, estoy jodido.
Hello again, Mr.
Yes, this neighborhood, mate.
Mr. Thatcher.
No. Since I came back...
I understand what...
No.
Why were you locked?
I went by the canal after an hour.
Why did you...
Newton wanted me to go to a hospital.
Tell me about your closet.
That's what the bloody doctors...
Oswald.
I don't trust doctors.
Your fear of being trapped...
I've seen enough butchers in white.
Do you want to talk about...
No!
An irrational fear like yours?
Will Doctor take a guess?
Perhaps you were trapped or locked...
Are you joking? I grew up on a...
Goodbye, Mr. Thatcher. Hello again.
I'm eternal.
What can you speak?
Ratson.
You are...
I'm not giving up.
Perhaps you...
Could you speak to him?
Well... Did you...
No.
Yeah.
What caused...
It happened last year, following...
Go on.
It started...
I see.
No, you don't.
Goodbye, Mr. Blight. Take care of yourself.
Creo que seré capaz de cargarme de un lobo. Bueno, yo creo que es un lobo, a mí es lo que es.
This is despicable. What sort of creature is this? Here's what... Some voucher for a free checkup in Whitechapel. What is Nurse Crane up to? I really must find her. I can't believe I'm doing this. I have this thirst for blood.
This was mine! Fucking speech! Are you finished?
can't believe I'm doing this.
Shadows! See how his face looks like an arrow! This one's a what island shall prevail? Have no
Are you all right?
They were tracking me.
But you're safe now.
Did you hear them? They recognized me as a...
I believe you're a very...
I'm not crazy. I'm not...
I have this thirst for blood. I can't believe I'm doing this.
More and more of these bloody leeches every night. Aye. The guards recruit more and more every year. There's safer places to be than here.
Whitechapel. This neighborhood is linked somehow to the kind Lady Ashbury's blackmail. First, let's find this Petrescu fellow.
What? What?
I'm Dr. Reed.
No.
What can you
Nothing to say, really.
You don't have any...
Not since the death of my wife.
You mean you...
Yeah, I had a wife.
Perhaps you...
I'm sick, broke, and my son just stole my pill.
Whatever the boy did...
I swear I didn't want to hit him.
Do you know Nurse...
Funny, I've been searching for her too.
Really?
Word is she ain't real. She's
a gun?
I'll not die in some piss-stinking alley reeking worse than a week-old lab.
Are you all right?
The bastard at the wall next to me. I don't even know if he meant to miss. His name's Albert. Remember it. Now bugger...
What happened?
Hey, I didn't...
All right.
Sod off, mister. You're...
It's true. I'm not...
I said sod off. Never.
Goodbye, young man.
I won't end up another drunk arsehole littering the streets.
Good evening, Benjamin.
I'm afraid not.
What is it?
The doctors called me a liar.
It's a pit.
Now,
A gun, alcohol, and a bad temper make a terrible cocktail, sir. How are you?
I'm not...
Goodbye, young man.
I won't end up another drunk arsehole littering the streets.
Good evening, miss.
Good evening, sir. Are you...
Actually...
Then you have come to the right place.
Oh, really?
Ah, my brother has spoken of your...
Tell me.
The region itself is something.
What do you think?
Most of them are afraid.
Is there anyone...
Cadogan Bay. I don't like to talk...
Competition?
Never met her.
I'd like to see what...
What do you want? Leave me alone.
Good evening, sir. I'm Dr. Reed. I'm looking for Nurse Dorothy Crane.
There is no Dorothy Crane here. Goodbye.
I'm afraid this medical... It says the opposite, sir.
Really?
Well, I'm afraid I'm going to close this door right now. Don't bother someone else, Mr. Doctor.
To enter that house, I must discover who this man really is. Maybe I could start by observing what he's up to.
The strange man was at the door with the pass for our medical facility. I refused him entry.
Darius, how could you know he didn't need our help?
His clothes were too finely tailored to be for Whitechapel.
Perhaps just a friend of that stray poet who is always about.
It's Nithercott. No, not of the same cloth, this man. I suspect some machination from that journalist.
Clayton Darby. Is he still asking questions?
Yes. I saw him drifting around St. Mary's Church. I swear he is tracking me just downwind.
I must talk to that journalist or the poet. They must know about Darius. Nearby the church they just mentioned.
Bueno, chicos, o chicas, vamos a darlo por hoy, que ya es muy tarde.